What is up, everybody? It's your boys back again with another episode of Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, please be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Go follow us on TikTok. It's where all the videos be bussing, as these kids say these days.
Shut up.
As you know, we have a two-man show today. You can clearly see from the screen. Brennan is on his wedding / honeymoon / vacation / whatever else is going on. But yeah, other than that, we're here to hang
I
out.
wish
Here
I wish
to have
I
a
was
good
in
time.
Hawaii.
Me too.
I don't know. That's crazy to me. I wish I was in Hawaii. Maybe Brendan next time should invite us to his honeymoon. I think that's only right. If you're listening, Brendan, just remember, your pals here at Franchise Tag would love to go to Hawaii on your dime.
Your cohorts.
Your cohorts, your coworkers, you could say. Aaron, do you want to just jump right into the news here? I know that you got a special show for us today. I know you do.
Yeah, I'm good. News and notes. I am good. You mean a preview?
Okay, go ahead. Preview, please.
I don't want to preview, but I will. Today, guys, I'm going to make Ray put him on the hot seat. Guess teams' overall records. That's what I want, Ray. I want you to help me situate these teams down here, wherever we think that they're going to go. But before that, news and notes, buddy.
All right, so news and notes coming back right into the hot seat twice in a row, right? Twice in a row.
Yes. Kind of.
Yeah. Shane Steichen says that he expects Jonathan Taylor back at practice this week. That's big news. I don't know what this week means or what this week entails, but he'll be back at practice, I guess, right?
Guess we'll find out.
Does that mean he signs a deal this week?
No.
So then why even bother mentioning it? Because he's not going to play unless they pay him.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on through people's heads anymore.
I don't get it either. Like this whole Jonathan Taylor thing is kind of blown me out of the water, really. I feel like if you're going to pay one running back, I mean, at least a little bit of money, maybe pay him. But then, like, at the same time, why are you hurt? Ask for money. Whatever. The Saints head coach Dennis Allen said Kendre Miller suffered a knee sprain today in the game that he had played earlier. I guess today, because we're recording on Sunday. He had played earlier today. He sprained his knee. I don't necessarily think it's anything super serious, but it's definitely something to monitor for dynasty purposes. I don't necessarily think redraft, unless you're in like a 16-man league. I don't think you need redraft.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's one of those things.
Yeah. Other news, Isaiah Likely went to the locker room during the game. He did not come back out that I saw. So
I haven't heard anything other than he went into the medical tent.
I watched bits and parts of that game throughout because I was going back and forth between games. And I saw that he went to the locker room, but I did not see him come out, and they didn't mention it at the end of the game. Again, this is a little more fantasy relevant news. I think if you're in a tight end premium league or something like that, something to really monitor in that situation. But I like Isaiah Likely. I like him as a prospect. It would suck to see him go down this season if it was serious. Kenneth Walker returned to practice today, but still did not participate in team drills. Does that kind of move your meter anyway, which way or anything like that, Aaron?
I mean, I was still already kind of low on him with Zach Charbonnet being there, so it doesn't. At this point in time, it doesn't move it up or down from where he was, anyways. I think I'm taking Charbonnet later in drafts if I am drafting either one of them at all, rather than Kenneth Walker.
I'm hoping that Ken Walker kind of falls a little more, and then like now his value looks great for what is perceived his ceiling, you know, with Zach Charbonnet there. I hope that that's what happens, but I'm not sure with the Ken Walker truthers in your leagues, in your home leagues and stuff like that. I don't know if that's going to happen and materialize come real draft season. If you're drafting right now, you're a wild man.
Been drafting so much best ball.
I'm saying like in redraft. You're drafting
redraft. Right, you're drafting now. No, you're crazy.
Woo! You're a wild human being. Let me tell you.
Let's pump those brakes for about 2.5 more weeks and then start drafting.
Maybe don't. Just let it ride. Just let it ride. If you're already halfway in, you might as well go all the way in. Elijah Moore headed to the locker room today. 2 days ago. That's not good.
Unless we have any actual injury updates on these players, I'm not interested in even worrying about this until we get full reports Monday morning.
Yeah, since this channel is pro Brandon Ayuk and pro Elijah Moore, I just wanted to bring that up because we are We're big truthers here. Big truthers. Kareem Hunt, he's going to sign somewhere. That's news, I guess. Who knows? He's been offered multiple contracts now, right? Multiple. He's visiting with Minnesota. So if you're an Alexander Madison owner, sucks to suck. If you are, he went to the Saints. The Saints gave him a verbal contract, I guess that you could say.
Yeah, but the Colts also called him and told him right before he went out on the practice field for his tryout not to sign with the Saints. So
what does that mean? Like, just where is the contract? Like, sign the contract. What are you doing?
I don't know. Wild. Him not signing anywhere after having 2 or 3 visits already, it makes me think that he actually might not be fully healthy and passing a physical.
Could be. Or I doubt that I'm weighing options and trying to get as much money as I can. I doubt that's what it is, because last season he didn't look like he had a lot left in the tank. But it could have also been the Browns' sputtering offense, but I mean, Nick Chubb was fine. So except for when Deshaun Watson came back. Yeah.
Yep. Trust me, I know.
Something to think about, right? Something to think about. A couple more little bits of news. Damian Williams signs with the Raiders. I like Jonathan Mingo a lot, says Hayden Hurst. And Tank Dell is probably going to start shooting up a couple draft boards a little more coming up to draft season. He looked good.
Everyone's been hyping him up all off season too, and then you get a good showing, and so he's going to skyrocket. Get your John Mechie late. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if I don't know. Look. We've been hearing about Tank Dell from day one of their camp to now, and I feel like it's every day we're seeing something. So at least if he's the last pick of your draft or something like that, 14th round or something like that, I say take a shot.
Yeah.
What if you get a little gold right there? 14th round, get a little gold, little cheese.
Maybe we'll see.
I don't know. And that is pretty much it for the news. I would like to just point out just a couple side notes that I took myself. And I know that you guys, you and Brennan, you untouchables, you could say, aren't super high on Tank Bigsby, but boy, did he look good.
I never said I wasn't. I just never get a chance to draft him.
Boy, did he look good. He looked good. So just something to remember. Trevor Lawrence also looked really good. Calvin Ridley is very, very, very much so going to be involved in that offense, at least how you saw from preseason. And this is one of the big games that
and I mean, Christian Kirk, he still scored too, so don't just completely push him off your radar and be like, oh, it's Calvin Ridley or nothing. So
no, I think Christian Kirk is also, I think honestly, Christian Kirk could probably have more receptions this season. I think it could happen, but
I agree with that.
That whole offense looked pretty damn good. Trevor Lawrence looked good. Dallas had most of their starting defense out there, but not the whole thing. So just that was one of the main games I really watched and I paid attention to, because it's got a lot of pieces moving around. Yep. Kind of surprised that Dak didn't dress, but then I'm not, because it's week 1 of preseason. So whatever. That's enough for the news, because it's just preseason week 1.
Yep. All right, cool. News is over. We should have more news with all the injuries that happened in the games this weekend come Monday, Tuesday, when people actually get back into the training room, get treatment, things like that. But let's jump into this right off the cuff. We are going to do tiers of teams for their overall win-loss record on the season. We have categories of 0 to 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, and 14 plus. So,
who's got 14?
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I think the Chiefs might be one of the only teams that could even sniff that. So, but it is there. I wanted to kind of break it down where I didn't want to group like 6 to 10. I feel like that's just too much of an outcome. Does that make sense? So I tried to break them down.
Yeah, I like it.
So we'll just kind of go through this list. At the bottom was already auto-generated, guys. So we'll just start and just work our way down. We will save this team for last, though, because it's the best team. So up first we have the Saints. Ray, what do you think the Saints overall win total is?
I watched a lot of that preseason game, and it's kind of leaving a little sour taste in my mouth. You saw Michael Thomas get a catch. I don't know who gives a shit about Michael Thomas. I see them as an 8 to 10 win team, and especially in that division, 8 to 10 wins.
Yep, I would agree with that. All right, up next we have the Miami Dolphins, the Tua-led Dolphins. I know you
Oh.
hate Tua. It's going to be rough on this one. We might have a little bit of bickering here. My initial instinct is 8 to 10 wins.
I want to say 11 wins. That's how I feel, but that's too much. It's too much because 11 to 13 says that I would max out at 12, and I don't like that. So 8 to 10.
8 to 10. All right, guys. And we've talked about Vegas lines on the total over-unders on these teams before. I didn't look them up for this. I just wanted our initial, like I said, our initial, hey, I'm not looking at the sports books. I don't care. This is what I think for
How it
real
feels,
NFL purposes.
how it feels in your tummy,
Yep. The Baltimore Ravens here. Lamar Jackson.
We're gonna have a
AFC
lot.
North is pretty stacked. I feel like 8 to 10 is probably going to be. But afterwards, we can go back and look, and we can move some up and down. Or if we put one team here, and they're like, "Oh, I like this team more than that team," we can bump them as we go. Once
Yeah,
they're there, they're not a final lock.
Yeah, I like them at 8 and 10, and I think that maybe already makes me want to move Miami one more time. But I'm already feeling like 11 is fine. Let's just move it up to 11.
Move
Might as
them
well.
up to 11.
No. Miami move up.
Oh, Miami up to 11. All right,
Might as
I'm
well.
already going to put this one on 11 to 13 because I do believe there's really not much to talk about. That offense is freaking great. So their defense is pretty stout. They didn't look the best against the Packers. Their second teams and third teams didn't look the best against the Packers this weekend, but Lou Anarumo is going to get that figured out amongst who's actually going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos.
Going
Sean Payton.
5 to 7.
I agree with that one. New York Giants. I think they get beat by the Eagles twice, and I think they split with the Cowboys and Commanders, if that helps.
I want to talk about a tough division, and maybe not necessarily tough as in talent wise, but everybody is equivalent.
They always
they
always self-implode each other.
Yeah, so I'm going to say 5 to 7 as well, and I feel like I'm going to be low, and they might move. They might move.
Minnesota Vikings. Reminder: they went 11-1 in one-score games last year, and they had a negative point differential at winning 13 games. It's not going to happen again. I know where I want to put the Vikings, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I think they're an 8 to 10 win team. I think they are,
But they
did lose.
Go ahead.
They did lose a lot of defensive pieces. They lost their number one running back. I don't know if Alexander Madison's the answer, but I think 8 to 10, especially in a division with a few weak defenses. I think that they could get back to 8 to 10.
Yep, my initial number was 9. That's what I thought. So
okay,
just over the 500 mark for them. Up next, we have the hiccups. The LA Rams. This one's a tough one.
2 to 4.
See, and I can see 5 to 7. Just the Cup Stafford connection puts me at 5 to 7. But if you think 2 to 4,
that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Let me marinate.
Buccaneers. I'm going 2 to 4. I don't know that division though.
Yeah, the division's so weak. 2 to 4. It's so weak. 2 to 4.
Detroit Lions.
Hey, let's get a little shocker in here. 11 wins.
Ray says 11.
11 wins. Let's get a little shocker.
I think 8 to 10 wins is more realistic for the Lions, but we'll put them at 11.
See how it feels.
11 to 13.
Yeah, wear it out.
Yeah, Chicago Bears.
5 to 7, but I think that they're going to win 8 games. 5 to 7.
Okay. San Francisco 49ers.
It's got to be 11 wins.
13.
It has to be with that defense. Has to be.
Yep. Philadelphia. This is going a little quicker than I thought it would. Philadelphia Eagles.
We just talked about their division.
If you want to ever say pass, just say pass, and we'll work our way down the line.
Maybe let's go past the Eagles right now, and then let's talk about them in a minute. But my initial thought was 13 to 14 wins because their team is so stacked right now, so stacked. But their division implodes on itself. You're right.
Up next, we have the Raiders.
Ooh, that's a 5 and 7.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
If you're fans of these teams, please don't take this to heart.
Or do.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
We've gotten hate comments before, so it won't be anything new. The Washington Commanders.
2 to 4 wins.
That's what
I think I'm being very generous.
Arizona Cardinals, I really want to put right here.
Go ahead. 0 to 1.
I honestly, realistically think they'll go right here.
I don't know.
But for sheer awe factor, that's where they're going.
let's keep there. Keep there.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay. Maybe I'm a little higher on Kenny Pickett than maybe I should be.
Maybe.
Do you think that this is the year the wheels fall off for Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin. I had some friends over yesterday and we had a nice little cookout, hangout session. Someone brought up to me that they think Mike Tomlin is on the hot seat and should just be fired. My argument was against it, but they made some good, valid points. Do you think that they can win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years?
Is that Mike Tomlin or is that
whoever? It doesn't matter. Do you think currently Mike Tomlin can coach the Steelers into winning a Super Bowl in the next 3 years?
Man, that depends a lot on Kenny Pickett, and I don't think so. But again, like what we've been hearing out of camp and what we've been hearing out of this whole offseason is that Kenny Pickett is really taking a step forward. And obviously, this is all camp hype, and like you don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, what if it is right and he has taken a step? Then yes, I can see, a path where it happens.
Oh, I could too. But
is it a long road?
But yes, but he brought up the point too, where like before Kirby Smart took over Georgia, he brought up the point that they were always a 10-11 win team, but could never beat Alabama, could never get over the hump, could never do this. Then they fired that coach. I can't think of his name, but then hired Kirby Smart, and now they've won like 3 or 4 national championships in 4 or 6 years or something crazy like that. Like, so it's one of those things that
so
it's just it might be. Could you imagine? I'm feeling honestly 5-7.
Let me ask you. I'm surprised that this is the one that we're going to actually really go into.
I know, right?
But then honestly, like this is a good one to talk about because the Steelers are relevant. I think they are. Do you think that they are
assets?
Yeah, a lot. Do you think that they're a better football team right now than the Denver Broncos?
Yes.
The Oakland Raiders, or I'm sorry, the Vegas Raiders?
Yes.
Chicago?
Yes, which makes me want to move those 3 teams down one because I think they're pretty even with the Giants, honestly.
Okay, so then I would say leave those there and put them in the 8 and 10 category. I would. That's how I feel.
Okay. And you say move the Giants up too?
They're very close. Like they would be the 7 out of all of those. That's exactly how I'd have it right there. That's exactly how I'd have it. If you're going to put them in order, that's how I'd have it. Yes.
I feel like the Saints aren't going to be an 8-win team.
I feel like their division's weak enough to where they are.
That's true. That means I'm putting these people up here.
I don't like the Bucs at all. Anyway,
I think they need to go up. Sorry, guys. Sorry that we got that up. We circled back to the Eagles. Full circle. Here we go.
Okay. They're the first team that we've had to consider a 14-win season.
Yes.
I think you put them up there, and then we'll talk about the 14-win category at the end of this. But I think you put them up.
Okay. All right. We can put them up there. The Bills.
I also think that you put them in the 14-win category, and we talk about it.
See, I don't think there's so. 3 teams. I think they go 11-13.
Okay, let's do that.
I think they go right there. Because with the division in San Francisco, that NFC West division, I think they are a lock to be the 1 seed coming out of that division, or the division winner. So that's why I have them there. But these two are
being Buffalo and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yes, sorry. I think they're a toss-up of who's going to get the higher seed in the playoffs. Okay. So, Atlanta Falcons.
7 wins right off the bat.
7? You think 7?
Yes.
Okay. And again, you probably want them up here, right? There?
Yeah, right there. That looks good. So what he's doing...
Like this.
I don't know. They're pretty close to Chicago, I think. They're right there. So what Aaron did was he moved in the tier list. He moved Denver, Chicago, and Atlanta. And if we're going to be doing that in that bracket, just putting them in order of what.
So we're gonna order them top to bottom, most wins to least wins, and then inside of each, we kind of just stumbled upon this as we were doing it. But inside of each tier per se of wins, we're gonna rank them from like most confident to kind of, hey. We have the Lions at 11-13, but since they're on the last of the board, like we have them borderline of they could be an 8 to 10 win team too. Well. So
Yeah, definitely.
Seattle Seahawks.
8 to 10, and they're at the top of that for me.
I think they're one spot behind the Ravens for me on that one. I think that's how that goes.
I think it's going to be very close. I would take a beer bet on that.
That's too close for me to have a beer bet on, honestly.
What do you mean?
Sorry. The New England Patriots.
They're at the very bottom of the 8 to 10. Very bottom.
Agree. I would agree with that. Cleveland Browns. These guys to me are at the either bottom of the 8 to 10 or top of the 5 to 7.
I would put them at the bottom of the 8 to 10. I would.
Just because the division we have, all 4 of those teams are already statted out for the NFC or AFC North.
And I
We
don't
have 3
hate
of the
that.
4 in the 8 to 10.
I don't hate that.
Okay. All right. Up next, CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. First year head coach D'Amico Ryans.
The way that it looked this last week did not put confidence in me. Yeah, that's where I think that they'd probably be. I think they're a better team right now than the Buccaneers. I think they're a better team than the Commanders. I do not think they're a better team than LA.
Who's a better team, the Bucks or the Commanders?
The Bucks.
Agreed.
I think the Commanders are in contention for 1 win.
I agree. I think the Cardinals end up with 2 top 5 picks between these 2
Yes.
teams, themselves
Yes.
and the Texans.
Yes.
All right, Kansas City up top.
Go ahead and
Don't
put them
need
up
to talk
there.
about them.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys.
That's a tough one. And then I know that all of our Dallas fans are going to be like, hey, you guys suck.
They have
But-
a good defense. I'm scared about Mike McCarthy. I honestly think the Cowboys could end in the 11 to 13 category this year.
At the very bottom of the 11 to 13, yes. At the very bottom of it, yes.
I would even put them over the Lions per se.
I bet I'm pretty high on the Lions and everybody else isn't. That's fine. That's fine. The Lions are now at the bottom of our 11 and 13.
Yeah, because
11 to 13.
I have the Lions barely hitting 10. So this is all you on that category.
Yeah.
The Chargers. Let me ask you this way. Think about this. Does Brandon Staley get fired if the Chargers miss the playoffs or lose in the first round again?
You know what? That's so funny that you said that. One of my friends asked me that, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, how long is his leash?
I mean, it's been 3 years of a long leash already.
And that last playoff loss that they had against Jacksonville, that falls on him.
Yeah, that's a dagger. I think that was like
Yeah.
the final straw.
It has to fall on him. So then, yes, that answer is yes.
Okay, we already
mean,
have
like-
finished in this year.
We broke it down. There it is.
Uh-huh.
I think they could get to 11 wins. I think they could.
I'm
But
putting them in the 8.
I
to
like
10.
that.
Yeah.
And I think that they're probably, if you're gonna put them in
They're middle
order,
of the pack. They're about right here.
I like them a little more than Minnesota. I like them a little more than
Okay.
Minnesota.
Because they're definitely getting more wins than the Broncos and the,
Yes.
and the Raiders for sure.
Unless they all get hurt again.
That is true. We'll wait on this one. Carolina Panthers is next.
I think that they finish in the 5 to 7.
I think they finish bottom of 5 to 7 or top of the 2 to 4.
Yes.
And
And
just me. And that's not any knock on them. That's just outside of Miles Sanders, they have an old Adam Thielen, older but not as productive DJ Chark, and I think it's going to take Bryce Young just a little bit to get into the feel of things. So
I will also say that after watching his debut, and this is just against, standard 4-man rushes, they let him get hit a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. They let him get his ass kicked a lot. Like, it made me think that O-line was pissed off at him or something.
yeah,
Because these are just 4-man rushes, and they're getting beat on almost every play. I will say that
just
Bryce Young definitely stood in the pocket, stood tall, delivered the ball. But boy, did he get hit a lot.
yeah, which is a concern going into the season. But up next, one of 3 teams remaining for this division, the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans. It's Vrabel. It's Derrick Henry. I've got them 8 to 10 wins. somewhere between the Saints and Browns, could fall anywhere in there between there for
Okay.
me.
Okay, you've convinced me.
Where you want them, right there?
That's fine.
Okay. The New York Jets, Jets, Jets.
They're an 11-win team.
Whoa, are
They're
you
an
sure?
11-win team. Yes.
So East, AFC
Now
East, AFC East, AFC East.
We got to move some things down now. They can't all finish
AFC
with 11
East,
wins.
exactly. That's my point. They can't all be at 11 wins.
I feel
And
like
the
the Jets.
to 10.
I feel like the Jets have a better roster than Miami right now. Totally.
I agree.
So then that moves
Offensive and defensive side of the ball. So that moves Miami down here.
Yes. And like that's where we originally had them. And I feel like that feels a little more comfy. That feels a little more right.
Yep. But I could also see Miami and the Jets flip flopping in this tier
Yes.
that we have.
Yes.
So I get that. Duval,
Wait.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Way.
Right here. I had to leave this one at the back for the wife so we could kind of discuss it a little bit. We both like Trevor Lawrence. Brendan likes Trevor Lawrence. Brendan likes Calvin Ridley. I like Calvin Ridley. Even though I've passed on him a lot in drafts, I love Christian Kirk. Love Evan Ingram. ETN's great. Tank Bixby's hopefully going to be a thing. That defense is pretty solid. I have the Jags winning the AFC South at 11-13
Thank you.
wins.
Thank you. I was going to say, where are you putting them right now? I kind of like them more than I like Dallas. I like them more than I like Detroit. I like them more than I like New York. I think they should be right behind Cincinnati right now, where it feels comfy. And I just want you to guys know, again, I originally called Trevor Lawrence winning the MVP. Just, you can take that right to the
All right,
bank.
cool. So I've got
that.
to bump them down here then.
No, they're going to have a good
No.
season. Trevor Lawrence looked good, so I like it.
I agree. I wish Brendan was here to talk about his team, but we have the Indianapolis Colts.
They're a
Young.
2-4 team.
Young quarterback and Anthony Richardson didn't look super hot in the first preseason game. The whole Jonathan Taylor fiasco. Ray says 2-4, but I'm putting them behind the Rams.
Is their defense finally going to be good like they're supposed to be the last two seasons?
Is their offensive line finally going to be good like they're supposed to be? Like they get paid for?
Is Anthony Richardson going to be like a thing?
Who knows? Guess
What
we'll
is
find out.
What is Alec Pierce? What is he?
I hope he's good.
Is he
Honestly,
a sneaky guy? Is he
I hope
sneaky?
he's good. I kind of want to put the Colts up here just because the division is bad. And outside of the Jags, I can see them splitting one game each with that, and that's 3 already. And then they beat Kansas City last year with Matt Ryan at quarterback. Like they could pull out a couple sneaky wins. So I like 5-7.
All right.
I like 5-7, slightly above the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
Last but not least, we have the Green Bay Packers.
This is the toughest thing. But I will say, Jordan Love looked pretty damn good. He looked pretty good.
He looked all right.
And Romeo Doubs, I think, might be the sneakiest draft pick of this year.
You can get, as of right now, before that preseason game, you could get him in the 14th round with your last pick of drafts, or 15th.
You could very clearly see that he's going to be heavily involved. He could be an 80 to 90 reception guy. And that's going to be value. That's gold. That's at least a receiver 3. At least. A good flex, a good something to put in there. 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
You can keep going. Nope. You keep moving them. Keep moving them. There you go. Right there. No, right there. I like that.
Yeah.
Right in front of the Saints, right behind the Steelers. I like them.
Behind Minnesota, ever so slightly. Way behind Detroit.
Yeah, way behind Detroit.
All right. So this is kind of just our initial kind of breakdown. We'll get a little more fine-tuned right here. Stick around at the end, guys. Tell us if you think our initial spots of these players are not what you would expect, or where we finally end up here in a few minutes. Let us know if we're dumb. You think we're dumb? I personally think that it should go like this.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, I don't think Philadelphia is going to lose a step.
For those of you that don't know, I moved Philadelphia from 14 plus wins down to 11 to 13.
But pretty much saying that they're going to win 13 games.
Yes, pretty much.
What did they lose?
A few defensive pieces. Their defensive coordinator Even though Nick Sirianni is technically the offensive coordinator and calls most offensive plays, they did lose their offensive coordinator too. Yes, they filled it up with some young rookies and things like that. But I mean, the tush push is going to hold them into a lot of it, right? Like they're going to they're basically still going to be able to impose their will. But I think it comes down to a closer race between them and Dallas for the division win than probably any other two teams in the same division.
Yeah, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I want Dallas with 10 wins. But I think they're fine there. They're fine. I think they're a better football team than Detroit right now, but like it's not that big of a difference. And that's if all we've seen at a camp isn't true and Dak is fine. But my God, every damn day I see 2 interceptions from Dak in camp every day. And I don't know if that's the media. I don't know if that's, that's real, but every time you see it, it's a different play, it's a different player, it's a different scheme, all of it. And I don't know what that is. I don't know how I feel about that. So I like this. I like how it looks. It's a fun game, Aaron. It's a fun game.
Hey, I'm glad I brought it to you. Is there anything else, any other teams you kind of want to talk about?
No, I mean, if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, I don't know. Did you see that picture with
Kyler? Jesus.
Kyler Murray?
Let's not go down that road. I could see the Cardinals winning. Definitely, I could see them winning more than one game. Let's be real. It's to go 0-16 like the Browns have. I mean, the Cardinals have done that too. Like, it's a little difficult, but if any team's going to be the one to just self-destruct, it's the Cardinals.
Right now, yeah, that's how I'm seeing it. And it's either that or the Buccaneers finishing last, one of the two.
Yeah, I can see the Texans possibly finishing in last too. I do have faith in DeMeco Ryans, but it's just young quarterback, first-time head coach.
Texans not a lot of weapons.
The Texans, have kind of been just a circus show for the last few years anyways. So I could see Arizona having the top 2 picks, back-to-back 1-2, just strictly from them and the Texans.
Yeah, I like where we have it right now. I think there will be one team with 1 win. I do think that's going to happen. I just don't know who it's going to be. I think the Commanders are definitely in that category.
Yeah.
I don't buy into Sam Howell at all. And, if they're trying to ship Chase Young and I don't know, like that whole organization right now, dumpster fire, complete dumpster fire. So the bottom of the list, the bottom of the tiers, pretty rough.
Yeah. So, yeah, 0-1 wins. We have the Arizona Cardinals, as we've said, 2-4. Worst to best, the Washington Commanders, Tampa Bay Bucks, Houston Texans, LA Rams. 5-7, worst to best, Carolina Panthers, Indianapolis Colts, the Raiders, the Falcons, the Bears, the Broncos, the Giants. 8-10, worst to best, Browns, Patriots, Titans, Saints, Packers, Steelers, Vikings, Chargers, Seahawks, Dolphins, Ravens. 11-13, worst to best, Jets, Lions, Cowboys, Jags, Bengals, Bills, Niners, Eagles, and the only team at 14+ that we have is the Kansas City Chiefs. So hard to win 14 games in the NFL, right? So difficult. But if any team is going to do it, I do believe that Kansas City, they proved it last year. They are few and far between, probably the best bet to hedge your money on to win 14+ games.
Yeah, I agree.
But did you enjoy it? Was that a good game?
Yeah, fun game.
I'm glad you liked it. Well, I got nothing else for the people, Ray. I'm sure you have nothing else for the people.
I do.
I
do. Hey, so I know that we brought it up last episode, and I wanted to bring it up again one more time here. We'll actually talk about it every episode we're going to do this for, right? Is we're trying to get a listener league with you guys. We're trying to get you guys into, just giving you guys some free money just to play fantasy football with us, just to win against a couple scrubs, right? Me, Aaron, Brennan, scrubs. So if you guys would like to, please drop a comment. Let us know that you guys want in on this fantasy football league we're going to be setting up for a listener league, and we'll try and get back to you guys all as fast as possible, so we can set this up and have some fun.
$100 if you beat us.
100 bones. Look at that.
$100. Easy money if we're as scrubs as some of you guys think we are.
I was say, where's all Aaron's haters? We should have like a whole league full of those guys.
We should have 2 already, honestly.
Yeah.
But guys, yes, please leave a comment down below. Let us know that you're interested. It will be on the Sleeper platform Winner, if you do beat myself, Ray, or Brennan, chances are we're probably going to draft just on the same team. So if you beat our team, you will win $100. Mainly, i.e., the winner. If we don't win, which I'm expecting we'll win because we're not scrubs like everyone thinks we are. But as always, guys, please be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Go follow us on TikTok. And until next time, we will see you later.